Hey guys, we're going to tell you, just for the hell of it, I may have mentioned it before, this Hallmark movie, which is called
It is a good idea, but
Romance at Reindeer Lodge.
we don't have anything to auction.
The outside scenes of this were filmed here in Brantford. Not the very beginning when they have all the tall buildings, but once they kind of go into town and something to do with an airport, from that airport on. That's inside Brantford. That's one of the stores in Brantford. That's a store in Brantford. And a lot of this was done right here in Brantford. They did a lot of street scenes. They were in a car riding through the center of town. They were in a sleigh, a horse-pulled sleigh. They went to a diner, not a diner, but a little restaurant for some type of cocoa tea or something. I don't know what that was. But meanwhile, this has been filmed here in Brantford. So, the house was supposedly in North Brantford, but I'm not positive on that. You know, the inside of the house and things, but I'm not totally sure. But that's about it. I'll try to just let you know. And if I ever get a chance, I'll show you the spots next time I'm in town, for those of you who care. Now, I gotta go to Brantford Lumber, which is right over here in Brantford, by the way. Brantford Lumber, or they call it Brantford Building Supplies. But meanwhile, I brought the camera with me just to give you a little bit heads up on it, on Brantford. Over there is the library, which has been there a long time. And I couldn't tell you how old that library is, because I mean, I remember when I was like, 10 years old, or younger actually, 7 years old, I got my first library card. And this is the center of Brantford. And down here in the center is where they filmed a lot of that Romance at Reindeer Lodge. And the town is really people orientated. See over here, right here, this bench, right there? Well, I'll tell you a story about a woman that fell on that bench, and I'm right here when it happened. So meanwhile, this is the location that they actually filmed the vehicle when the two of them were coming from the airport. This is the location that they filmed her and him talking in the center of town. And right down here, this part is where they filmed the horse-drawn carriage at night with the two of them in it heading towards the supposedly Reindeer Lodge. Over there is the store that they were in shopping for clothing. And then they filmed some of this down here. That used to be the post office at one time. Now you're not going to be able to see it because I'm not going down that far, but way down, right about in the middle, there's a white house like down there. That's where they filmed the inside when they were having that Jamaican rum, cocoa tea, whatever it was, when he invited her out for some, whatever it is he was inviting her out for. But that's that. I'll show you more when I leave. Okay, so anyway, you're not going to be able to see it. That's all there is to it. I can't sneak out enough. Now, and the town's got these reefs up all over everything. Maybe. Now, next to that reef, way down in the back next to the traffic light, there's a white house like with a little restaurant there, and that's where they had the coffee or the rum or Jamaican tea or whatever it was they were supposedly drinking. Come on. Alright, thank you. So, but that's about it. Now we had trees all along here at that point. We had a lot of those Cleveland pears, which is not a fruit tree, but that's what it is. Here's the town green. This is where they did the video, lip sync video over here in the town green. And again, churches and so on and so forth. Now I'm going back the other way, but now I was coming this way towards us, and I got about here, and I looked at my rearview mirror, and I seen a woman fall on the curb right there, and she couldn't get up. Well, I stopped right in the middle of the street, and there's people around. There's other women close to her age and younger, standing around. I mean, so, you know, and one of them even looked at her. And what's wrong with these people? That's one of the reasons why I stopped. So I stopped, and I left the truck in the middle of the road, and I went over there, and I helped her up. Well, as I'm starting to help her up, now the woman that's seen her fall and looked the other way decides, oh, let me come over and help you. Are you okay, dear? Are you all right? I'm looking at this bitch, and I'm saying, where were you before? All right? You know, if I didn't pull over, were you just going to go on your way and walk across the street and just leave her laying on the ground? She had tripped on the curb. All right? Now, there was nothing wrong with her as far as, you know, an illness. She didn't trip because she passed out or anything. She tripped on the curb. And she fell, and she protected herself. Luckily, she didn't break any bones. And right there, about 30 feet away from where she fell, there's also a doctor's office. So I kept asking her after I got her up and set her on the bench, are you okay? You know, are you feel okay? She says, no, I was just going to get my nails done. She says, and I tripped on the curb. I said, well, I thought I seen you trip. That's why I looked in the mirror, because I didn't know for sure if you fell or if you just stumbled or whatever. You know, she says, no, I thank you. She says, some people just don't pay attention to people anymore. And I know she was talking about that bitch, all right, that was probably about 10 years younger than her, and she was in her late 60s, early 70s. So there was no reason why this other one couldn't go help her, or even the other one that was walking by her and into the doctor's office. You know, or at least, you know, go into the office and say, listen, a young lady or an elderly woman just fell, you know, out in front of the building. You know, get somebody out there. So anyway, she kept insisting that she was okay. So what I had done was, because I know the doctors in that building, I went in there and I said, listen, I said, there was an elderly woman that just tripped on the curb. She was on the ground. I got her up into the bench. She says she's okay, but you may want to send somebody out there. So they immediately sent a doctor out there. And by this point, you know, I just got in my truck and went on. But to see that there's people around, this elderly woman falls, and they all ignore her. And this is a people town. You know, it really is, where most of the time everybody's out to help one another. And I was really surprised to see that happen. You know, but it was just, you know, I mean, some people just don't care. You know, and you hate to label them, but in this case, you know, I mean, it's just some of these people are just, they don't care. Yeah, nothing but themselves. You know, I mean, if it was their mother there, they'd probably walk by. You know, this is just the way it is. All right, I'm back. I spent more money than I expected. I'll talk about it when I get inside.